Hi, and welcome to the first year lab. One of the key goals here is to provide an environment that encourages you to develop confidence and creativity in a scientific lab. The scientific skills that you develop over the first year in the lab are really important for the next years of your studies and beyond. The first year physics laboratory course is structured using two types of sessions. In order to help you develop confidence and creativity in the lab, we'll provide skills sessions. Here you will be provided time to play with equipment in the lab and build confidence so that you can use this equipment in experimental sessions. The skill sessions help you prepare for the experiments. In the experimental sessions, you carry out an investigation to study the physical phenomenon as described theoretically in your week's lectures. This typically includes setting up an experiment and recording data. Besides these practical skills, a key skill that you're developing in both sessions is learning to keep lab records. Each semester in year one, you can expect to have 4 experimental sessions and 6 skill sessions. Your work for the experimental lab typically extends over the full week. One key aspect of this work is preparation. Each week we provide a document for each session to help you prepare. You could begin your preparation on the Monday, for example. Here you would gain access to the lab session document, which is available online. Reading this, you will discover points that you will note which will be important for your lab session. You will also want to do some further research and record additional notes in your lab book. This preparation is key for any scientist in advance of a lab session. On the day of your session, you should arrive prepared by having your lab book with the notes you have made. Next, you can begin carrying out your experiment together with your lab partner. The lab documents provide direction to you, but it is important to develop your own creative methods for solving problems you encounter in the lab. During each session, a key feature is asking for support from the teaching staff. While the lab sessions are 3 hours in duration, aim to complete them within 2.5 hours. On completing the lab session, you should leave with your lab book containing the important data and notes on the experiment. Using these records, you can then perform the homework task of completing an analysis of the experimental data. The results of this analysis are then written as a mini report and then submitted online before the end of the week. For every lab session, you should also submit a scanned copy of your lab book. Your lab handbook is essentially a handwritten diary of your scientific work. Each week you will have several pages of entries for the lab sessions. You can scan these and submit them online for feedback. After an experimental session, you will complete the analysis of the data. The results and your interpretation will be presented as a 2-page mini report. This report will contain 2 sections: analysis and results, discussion and conclusions. This 2-page document is then submitted online for assessment and feedback. Throughout each semester, the lab teaching staff will assess your work. The goal here is to provide you with constructive feedback and to monitor your development. Your work is primarily assessed using the submitted lab homework and lab book records. The feedback from this assessment will help you improve each week. This material will also form part of the evidence you will use in your portfolio. A final assessment occurs at the end of the semester via the lab report assignment. This is a 4 to 5 page scientific article reporting on the results of one of your experiments of the semester. In completing the weekly lab session, you should try to make use of all the available support. For example, your lab partner will be a valuable collaborator in preparing and carrying out the experimental sessions. You'll also have the support from the teaching staff members and the lab technician. The lab technician is your source of support and help for sourcing equipment or for fixing technical problems in the lab. Remember that these lab sessions are there to encourage your creativity. There isn't just one single way to solve experimental problems, so enjoy the opportunity to discuss ideas and options with the lab staff. Another source of support is the online discussion forum. This is typically used to discuss the challenges of performing the data analysis of the lab homeworks. That's all for now. See you in the lab.